Om. Adoration to the Supreme Being, pure, eternal, and all-pervading, the changeless reality, the one being, meditating upon whom the sages quickly attain liberation. Thou art eternal and undifferentiated, the one out of whom the visible and the invisible world of diversity emerges, in whom it rests, and to whom it returns in the end, when the world cycles come to an end. Yasmat sarvamidam prapancharahitam maya jagadjayate. Yasmin tishtati yati chantas samaye kalpanukalpaye. Yam dhyatva munaya prapancharahitat vindati moksham dhruvam. Tam vande purushottamakyam amalam nityam vibhum. Nishchalam. Tomorrow is Swami Premananda's birthday. One of the reasons why I took this topic. Premananda, Embodiment of Love. He was also called Love Incarnate. Swami Vivekananda named him Swami Premananda, the bliss of divine love. Remembering Sri Ramakrishna's words, saying, Sri Radha herself, the goddess of divine love, was partially incarnated in him. Who was Sri Radha? She is the goddess of love, tenderness, compassion, devotion. Sri Ramakrishna himself tells M, the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I saw Babu Ram, his pre-monastic name, as a goddess with a necklace around her neck and with women companions. He has received something in a dream. His body is pure. Only a little effort will awaken his spiritual consciousness. This was Swami Premananda, a partial incarnation of the goddess. Sri Ramakrishna had also called him the eternally free. There are some souls that are eternally free. They are called Nitya Siddhas. They descend on this world of mortality to lead us to that immortal realm. Sri Ramakrishna also said that he was one of the 6 godlike souls. It's called Ishvara Kotis. The others we know was Swami Vivekananda and Swami Brahmananda, Swami Niranjanananda, and then we had Swami Yogananda and another disciple called Purna. The question comes, do such souls, when they come, why do they need to interact with us? Why do these souls are required to come at all? They could have been there, happy in their whatever realm they are in. In the early societies, if you read the literature there, for them, the idea of the holy, or it is called numinous, or the technical word is manna, was basic to religion. They were not interested in theology and philosophy, unlike us, but they were more interested in experiencing that numinous, the holy, the sacred, in their lives and in the places where they worshipped, the temples, and wherever they went, they wanted to experience the holy, the sacred. It's called the experience of the numinous. Only later organized religions come and make it kind of exclusive. No. Everybody cannot be like that. Only few designated individuals can have the idea of that numinous. This preceded the explanations for the origin of the world. For them, this world existed. It's a fact. And where did it come from? Why bother about it? It's here. So it was this numinous that actually inspired their life and work. For them, God was not something very distant or far away or removed from their lives. They interacted with the gods. Yes, and if you see Roman mythology or Greek mythology, any of the mythologies, you will find these stories. The gods are interacting with the affairs of humans and the societies. So they understood that human life is fraught with mortality. And only by participating with the divine, with the numinous, could they really and truly be human. Yes, they had this idea. It's amazing. Today, that this grand concept has completely disappeared from our lives. Only by the experience of the numinous, by participating in divine activities, etc., can one be truly human. And that's why Swami Vivekananda says, take religion and spirituality out of society, what you're left with a forest of brutes. So for them, God was not abstract or metaphysical or something like that. And to explain things, they brought it out in mythology. It is not just stories. These mythological stories were highly symbolic of this interaction, the gods and women. That was the original idea of epiphany. Yes. Now it's a sudden intuitive kind of understanding. The moment. But technically it was that manifestation of divine or supernatural being. So this was society then. I won't say it has completely disappeared. The very fact that people go towards spirituality and religion is an echo of those old, you can say, impressions in the human mind, in the collective mind of humanity. And that's the reason why it's not going to go away, whatever we may say. Now, people, they are fascinated with this idea of love. We're talking about Swami Premananda, Embodiment of Love. Might as well talk a little about love. It's all love, love, love. Everyone is either hungry or full of love, or somewhere in the middle. But it is not easy to love. You know why? Because love is the reality. People want, where is the reality and where is the reality? What do you mean, where is the reality? it is here. If you feel love, it is as good as feeling your body and your mind. It's that tangible feeling. That feeling of love is the reality. It's not, we're not just talking about emotion and chemical kind of reactions in the body and the brain. I'm not talking about it. It's a very deep. And one of the reasons why Vedanta has designated the reality as bliss and also as love, priya, prema. Yes. So people want to find out reality. Do you feel love? You're feeling reality. Okay. But however, we find ourselves at times wrestling with love. Wrestling with love? Yeah. With our thoughts, our words, and our feelings. Yes. We've got to say the right thing at the right time, at the right place, and do the right thing at the right time. Yes, it is. It's not. It's a reality, but we are struggling with that reality. It doesn't just come and sit in our laps, because it's there in our hearts and it has to be expressed. And this struggle is natural to all living beings. Wherever you'll find love, and you'll find love everywhere. It's not only in the human level that we can love and know what is love. All life knows what is life and what is love. The moment you feel you are alive, you love. But this love, we struggle with. It is undeniable. It does not come easy. Why do we have to struggle with that? Yes, because that's a reality. We are struggling with reality to make it more and more manifest, to make it more and more pure, to make it more and true. So this love and truth and purity, etc., all these words that we have designated for God are found in love. It's one of the most powerful factors in our lives, in existence rather. Not only powerful, it is the truth. If you want to love, you've got to be true. And when you're truthful, you can love. So what is this idea of fighting with this love, that is, with this reality? In the old days, in the mythological literature, you'll find there are stories of people fighting with the gods, wrestling with the gods, or contesting with the gods. In the Bible, the very famous story of Jacob, he is a whole night he wrestled with somebody, and he couldn't overpower him. And then at the daybreak, that person who was wrestling with him say, "Let me go, it's daybreak. I won't let you go until you let me know who you are." And then he had to go, so he injured his hip joint or whatever, tendon. And he didn't let go. Then he knew. He wrestled with God the whole night. And he's saying, that being, I said, "What's your name?" Saying, "Jacob. From now on, you will be called Israel, for you have wrestled with God and humans and have won." So this is the story behind it. When Swami Vijnanananda, he comes to Sri Ramakrishna and says, Sri Ramakrishna, can you wrestle? He looked at him, puny, and he was big and strong. And he easily grappled with him and pushing Sri Ramakrishna against the wall. And suddenly he felt a kind of a shock, and waves and waves of bliss flowed through him. And he became completely powerless. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, oh, you won. Okay. You won? Sri Ramakrishna says he is not an ordinary. In his previous life, he has wrestled with Krishna. There you are. It's all over. In every mythology, you will find some characters fighting or shouting with God, or sometimes not listening to them, or sometimes listening to them. So this was the interaction. God, as it were, the reality participated in the affairs of life and society. So we will dismiss it. How can God come and wrestle and come and fight and etc.? It means that wrestling with God means wrestling with truth or love or reality. That's what it means. So you see, these people who are they were not stupid. We take them for, oh, we've sent a probe to Mars, and they couldn't do it. It's because of them we could do this. So they spoke in language which was comprehensible to them. Today, those stories are incomprehensible to us. And that's why we are very dismissive. So, if you are true, you will love. Now, if you don't, then you have to simulate the whole thing. It will be a kind of deception. And this is what creates all the trouble. You, as it were, are shying away from reality instead of grappling with it and becoming and overcoming it. We don't do that. And this is, of course, the problem with our lives. Sometimes we simulate things. Now, Sri Ramakrishna says about Swami Premananda, he is pure to the very marrow of his bones. He was pure. That's another test of love. Love has to be pure. And it will make you pure. People have this idea of impurity and sin and this and that. That has burdened humanity for the last 2,000 years. It's a crazy idea. You are pure already. How? Do you feel love? Yes, that is purity. Yet, though born pure, yet he struggled for more purity. And that is supposed to be what really it is. You struggle for more and more. Struggle for more purity means struggle for more love. He says that there was a man who used to take bribes and made a lot of money, and he was trying to hold Sri Ramakrishna, who was in that samadhi, and Sri Ramakrishna cried out in pain. Yeah. Because that simulation does not really go well with the real. And then his samadhi broke. So Swami Premananda said, we used to pray for purity, otherwise it will become a big scene. Suppose we are holding him, and then what happens is, he will cry out, then people will know, oh, this guy is impure. So, this is what. And they felt that Sri Ramakrishna himself was a blazing fire of purity, blazing fire of love. Holy Mother says, okay, some devotees were supposed to take the Swami to a place to give a kind of a talk like this. So she says, she tells the devotees, he wasn't well. She says, you see, they are all great souls. Their bodies are channels for doing good to the world. Look after their physical comfort and ease. This is what Holy Mother says of him. On his brother disciple, Swami Turiyananda says, you are the precious jewel casket of Shri Ram Krishna, an embodiment of love. That's the title of it. You are distributing love like the gopis of Vrindavan. Brother, save something for us. Here we have this idea that not only Holy Mother is warning the devotees what he is, but his brother disciples also know what his mission was for the world. Each disciple was earmarked with a certain mission. This was Swami Premananda's mission. It's amazing. Swami Brahmananda, another brother disciple of his, says, see, he is not an ordinary man. Okay? Your life will be blessed if you take one or two of his instructions and live up to it. He says, in whatever direction he looks, it becomes pure. So you can see this love and purity and reality and existence and all are one. It can be tangibly felt. So reality is this, felt as love in our hearts. So who is Swami Premananda? Prema is divine love. So the highest point of ecstasy is prema, divine love. So Swami Shri Ram Krishna actually classifies it as, first he says steadfastness, nishta, and then from that comes meditation, etc. And then you keep on meditating towards steadfastness. And from there it becomes bhava, the ecstatic state. And from that it becomes mahabhava, the great ecstasy. Humans cannot attain to that. We can go up to the state of bhava because our bodies will shatter with that force of ecstasy. And higher than that is prema. Saying with prema, it's like a rope. You tie God. There, God becomes now your slave. He's a slave of love. So this is prema. So he was that prema. Okay. So his mother, like, let's talk about the human side of his personality. His mother was Matangini, and she and the whole family actually were devotees of Shri Ram Krishna. So one time Shri Ram Krishna says, will you give me something? Saying, what? Yeah, sure, I'll give you. Can you give me your son? Saying, sure. So he's saying, I want a pure-hearted boy to live here. I'm greatly pleased even if he serves me a little, even if he brings a glass of water. But you know, always, and in all mythological literature, you will find God appearing to somebody, some sage or some saint, and say, I want this, and then gives you a boon also. So his mother, Matangini, she was asked by Shri, what do you want? Saying, just bless me that I will not have to see my children die. I will die before them. And tatastu, so be it. So she never asked for anything more than this. And that actually happened. So he was born in 1861, December. And it was 10th at Anpur, about 60 miles from Kolkata. What is Kolkata now? His father was Tara Prasanna. He was a very noble, very pious person, both of them. And they were very aristocratic. He had, and see how the divine play comes. No? His sister, Krishna Bhavini, was Balram Bose's wife. Now you know how they're connected. Sometimes you wonder, okay, they must have figured it out before. Hey, you go be born here, there, so we come together. He had two siblings, Shantiram and Tulsiram. So he was Baburam. There are some of his descendants still living, of course. I mean, from the brother's side. And some of them, the last I heard was some of them are here in the US. So, yeah, so, you know, I hope they know what. So he finished his village school and then schooling, and then he came, his mother sent him to Kolkata for higher studies. And she didn't want the boy to become mixed around with too much rustic children and he'll become rustic. She wanted him to be a little polished. Then, so he came and stayed at his uncle's house, and one of his classmates was Swami Premananda. They were all, he was older than Brahmananda by about 2 years. So in 1861. And the headmaster of the school was M. Now you know how they introduced, they brought all the students to Sri Ramakrishna. He was very active. And he was one of the best looking Swamis of the order. He was about 20 when he met Sri Ramakrishna. And he had seen Sri Ramakrishna one time at a meeting in Calcutta. So the first impression was, okay, it's fine, it's all right. And then when M was kind of telling him about this, Dakshineshwar and this and that, his brother, one of his brothers, he had gone along with their mother to Dakshineshwar, and he saw the spiritual, you can say, inclination of his brother, and saying, if you are interested in spirituality, go to Ramakrishna there. So, and then he got interested. Then he heard that Brahmananda visits Ramakrishna. He's saying, hey, let's go together. We want to see. And one evening, late evening, after school, they came to Dakshineshwar. So they found Sri Ramakrishna was not there in his room, but in the temple. And so Brahmananda, he goes to the temple. He slowly leads Sri Ramakrishna, who was in a kind of an ecstatic mood, to his room. He sits down in his room on the small bed and he comes to normal consciousness. It was already late, and so they had lit some lamps. So there was another gentleman, Ram Dayal, who was with them. So he said, okay. So they introduced Babu Ram to him. Said, oh, you're related to Balram. Then what Sri Ramakrishna did was started examining his features, his eyes and parts of his body, hands, etc. Like he used to weigh the person's forearms to see whether they've got a beneficent intelligence or no. And he passed all the tests. And very good, Sri Ramakrishna says. So he scrutinized him nicely. Now, why is this necessary? He says that, yeah, of course, through his yogic insight, he knows this. But the physical manifestation also is important, because we know that love changes your body. Everybody knows that. See, if you look at a person in love, you can see that that person is in love. That body, there are physical changes in the body. So that the divine love within him configures the limbs and the features, etc., in a very particular way that can be understood and read. Love is the one thing that cannot be hidden. Yes, true love cannot be hidden. It cannot. So, this is what Sri Ramakrishna checked him and saw, that this is what this boy is. So, the guru and the disciple bonded immediately, because it was through love. We approach reality through love. Most of us, it is not actually through our intellect. The intellect is nothing but a kind of, as they say, cleans the way. But our approach is actually love. That's what Swamiji says. The intellect is just a street cleaner, clearing the path. It is love that you can also teach through love. If you don't love your students and you try to teach them, they're going to listen to you. The moment you love, they're going to listen to you. So this was the bonding that both the guru and the disciple, they had. So one time, he told Sri Ramakrishna, I want to experience that samadhi that you experience. So he's saying, does anything happen according to my will, my boy? I'll ask the Divine Mother for that. And Baburam was insistent. No, you got to give me. Sri Ramakrishna said, I'll ask her. But he left disappointed, Baburam. He had to go back to his village home. When he returned after some time. But in the meantime, Sri Ramakrishna asked the Divine Mother, Mother, give this young boy some ecstasy or some spiritual experience. Otherwise, he'll go away from here. He will have no regard for this place, that is himself. So Kali, the Divine Mother, had said, oh, he will not have ecstasy and all that. He will have knowledge, jnana. This is very easy. He was embodiment of love, and she should have given him more love to get this samadhi and all. But from this itself, you can understand that both knowledge and love are not separate things. Sri Ramakrishna says, the more you know, the more you love. The more you love, the more you know. So, he would attain knowledge. He was love. And this is a lesson for all of us. Many of us think that Vedanta and all, it's a very dry philosophy. Oh my God, it's so technical, and the structure is like this and that. And it isn't. Vedanta has to be approached through love. Then the process becomes much easier and better also, of course. So Swami, one time he was, I think, in Chicago, Swami Vivekananda. And there was one devotee, she was praising Swami Vivekananda's intelligence. So he's saying, Madam, you are a fool, and I'm also a fool. At times I would like to take that, my intellect, and throw it out in the sea. But that's what we admire you for. And that's what he says, you're a fool. You don't. So it's a secondary instrument, knowledge, than love. And then love will lead you to knowledge. If love and knowledge, the jnana and the bhakti, are disparate, separate things, then there's something wrong with your ideas of reality. Of even spiritual practices, you have to approach it through love, through your heart. So the bhakti, that is it. It's not something, a mushy thing, makes you weak. No, it makes you strong. Love makes you strong. Love also, with Sri Ramakrishna, they saw that he wasn't indolent. So what happened was he came to live with Sri Ramakrishna, and then there began his real training. Sri Ramakrishna trained through his own life, through his words, through his actions. And so this was how now Swami Premananda was being trained into this love. Love does not like any kind of bondage. And he saw that in Sri Ramakrishna. The other index of love is renunciation. And the idea of giving up. And that is what he saw also Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of that idea of renunciation. He was established in this. At one time in Dakshineshwar, he found that there was a Hazra, he was old there, and then he used to instigate the boys, saying, what are you guys doing? You should ask Sri Ramakrishna for something more. Yeah, he's distracting you with sweets and fruits and this and that, and making you laugh. No. Press him for something more. What you want is that? All these psychic powers. So Sri Ramakrishna overheard it saying, Baburam, come here. He's saying, whatever I have belongs to you all. Don't go for all these psychic powers and all these things. Because Sri Ramakrishna knew that these psychic powers, mystic powers, they not only are distractions, but they are great obstacles. So this was how Sri Ramakrishna was training him. So he says that you are meant for higher things and don't go in for these small things. He kept a watchful eye on them. At times, spiritual aspirants, after a while, they become very self-confident. Oh, okay, I've conquered this, I've conquered that, and I'm moving ahead. Sri Ramakrishna was very careful about this thing, saying, don't ever take it easy, be ever vigilant. And he saw Sri Ramakrishna constantly active. That's another aspect of love. People say, oh, I love, so I just take it easy. I don't have to do anything. No. You in fact, you become more and more active. You work. It's that love working out through your body and mind and your senses and your ego also. So this was, love also is truthfulness. One time, he looked at Premananda and saying, why is it I cannot look at you? Did you do anything today? So he's saying, no, I didn't do. Then he recalled that he had said something in jest, in fun, which was not true. There he's saying, now I know why I couldn't look at you. So this is another thing, that it does not gel, lies do not gel with love. So in Dakshineshwar, he kept on doing his personal, Sri Ramakrishna's personal services. The interaction with Holy Mother was amazing. Oh my God. He used to lay prostrate in front of her. He knew who she was. She was the Divine Mother herself. I say, she is taking in sins of people. Those sins otherwise would have burnt us to ashes. He had a great capacity. His interactions with his brother disciples was exemplary. Of course, they had their differences, but they all loved him. There was, Swami Turiyananda says that, we learned to live from you, how to make the master everything. So his interaction with people and even objects was, oh, Sri Ramakrishna liked this. Oh, this fruit was liked by Sri Ramakrishna, something like this. He always saw the master in things that he did and said and interacted with. So he was bringing Sri Ramakrishna, who was an real embodiment of love, into all his interaction with the world. His preaching work, one time Sri Ramakrishna noticed him taking down notes. Then he says, you don't have to do that. He's saying, many beautiful words of wisdom will burst forth from your lips. And that's what actually happened towards the end. Swamiji, when he returned from his eastern tours, which is now Bangladesh, he's saying, Baburam, saying, I've left this place for you. So he regularly went to what is called East Bengal and preached there. And his preaching was, he tells Mother, Holy Mother, I don't know what to say. You don't have to bother. You just go. Sri Ramakrishna will speak through you. This was Baburam. His final days, well, he had got a black fever, it's called, and then he was getting cured, and then there was that great Spanish flu, that was there. It had come to India also and killing people by the millions. And he got a Spanish flu. So Swami Shivananda had brought him to Calcutta from a place called Devgar. That's what. And to Balram Bose's house in Calcutta. So there was Swami Brahmananda, his brother disciple, and Turiyananda, who was also there, but he was recovering from a surgery on his leg. Turiyananda. The love between them, the brothers, was very tangible. They used to look at each other and weep silently. One time Swami Shardananda had come from Udbodhan, where he was then, nearby. He tells Swami Shardananda, saying, I have a great desire to put on a cloth of pure yellow and to eat rice white as jasmine. And Shardananda understood that this was a symbolic representation of Radha, the goddess of love, which Sri Ramakrishna said he was a part of. And then he knew he is not going to recover from this illness. Towards the final moments, Swami Brahmananda was in the next room. He comes rushing to Premananda's room and says, Brother Baburam, do you remember the master? So they used to call him Babu Ramda because he was slightly older than Brahmananda. They had great love. And so he opened his eyes, smiled, looked at Sri Ramakrishna's picture. The thing is still there, saying yes. And he raises the hands and only says, grace, 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 kripa, kripa, kripa. He closes his eyes and passes away. And Swami Brahmananda lets out a loud wail and runs back to his room. Holy Mother, when she heard that he had passed away, she remarked, she also let out a wail. Babu Ram was dearest to my heart. All the energy, devotion, and wisdom of Belur Math, that Belur monastery, was embodied in him. And that embodiment walked on the banks of the Ganges. Brahmananda saying, Belur Math has lost its mother. M, the recorder of Sri Ramakrishna's words, says, Sri Ramakrishna's love aspect has disappeared. This was, he was love, he merges in love. For them, there is no death, as it were. Like we say, it's just the body is just thrown out. Because they were eternally free and they were godlike souls. He had said earlier, I feel a desire now to love everybody. It's like a disease, as it were, which has now possessed me. So what he did was just spread his love. And he served the master, he served his brother monks, he served the devotees, and he also served the young monastics who were there. Amazing. But like I said, it's not a mushy love. It was very stern. One scolding from him would make everybody quake. So this was his life. He passed away July 1918. We feel that as long as Sri Ramakrishna is there, he will be there because he was his constant companion. Sri Ramakrishna used to call him Daradi, you can say, my soul mate, as it were. So with Sri Ramakrishna, he is always there, and he is that spreading that love. And as I said, this love is what will lead us to reality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Okay, there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, online persons can take.